Hi, I'm Chef Robb Seltzer, the Aortic Chef, and welcome to another episode of the Aortic Kitchen. If you joined us 2 weeks ago, the aortic dietitian Mindy Seltzer did a program on sugars. So I'm going to follow that up with some quick, easy, very easy recipes that have no added sugars. Nothing but regular sugars that are contained in the fruits or the ingredients that go into the different dishes, other than one. But each of these recipes has no more than 4 ingredients, and they can be made and done in a matter of minutes. So let's get a start. 2 of the recipes, the first 2 are going to contain banana, which is our sweetener. And this one's going to be a banana pancake. So it's bananas, oats, oats, and an egg. And I will probably add a little bit of vanilla for flavor. So the first thing you want to do is peel your banana. Really simple, look at that. And we just toss that away, off screen. Nobody sees anything off screen. Okay, so we have a nice ripe banana. Want to break it up into the bowl. I'm gonna give it a little mash. I like my potato masher. And I just give it a few good mashes here. Break it up. Okay, doesn't matter if there's any a little lump action because it's a pancake. And little bits of lumps, little bits of banana are okay. So there's the first part. Okay. Now, I want to get every last bit of goodness here. Well, maybe not. Here's our egg. 1 egg. That's just a large egg, not extra large. Okay. And we're going to mix that into the banana. Now, if you want these pancakes to be a little bit lighter and higher, because there's really no leavening in here other than the egg, you could separate the egg, and if you're into it, you could whip the egg white a little bit. You don't have to make stiff peaks. Even just foamy will add some air and give it a little bit lift. We didn't use any baking powder or baking soda because what's that going to do? It's going to add sodium. First ingredient, sodium bicarb. And when I do these recipes, it takes us over that low sodium threshold of 5% of the daily needs. So I try not to if I don't have to, but a little bit. You can put a half a teaspoon, quarter teaspoon in here for a little bit of lift. Okay, we got that all mixed. Take our oatmeal. This is just regular rolled oats, not steel cut. Okay, you can use quick or you can use regular. There's about quarter cup there. And we just mix those in. Okay. Quick and easy. Now what you want to do is you want to make this a few minutes ahead because we really need to let this oatmeal hydrate a little bit so it soaks up some of that moisture. It'll help it cook when you do this because you're just going to do it on the stove, on your pan, whatever you use for your pancake griddle, whether it's just a frying pan or electric griddle, whatever. You can do it just like you do normal pancakes. I like a little vanilla in mine. So there's no sugar here, it's just vanilla. A little vanilla extract, give that. And you can put cinnamon here. You can put whatever fruit you want, really. You could add some blueberries. If you're not worried quite about the sugar, add some chocolate chips. Just make sure they're dark chocolate, not milk chocolate, and there's less sugar. Okay, get a nice dark chocolate chip. You could do that. Anything you really want to do. Okay, so that is basically done. Okay, as you can see, nice and wet, but we need it to set up a little bit. When it goes in the pan, it is going to look a little bit wet. Now, let's put this to the side on the stove, and let's move on to the next project. See how quick that was? These are easy. It's hot. So, another banana. This is half a banana. Now, that one there makes about 4 or 5 pancakes, depending on how big you make them, 3 to 5, which is perfect for you, or if you can double it for more, depending on how many you're feeding. This is a little treat, this recipe. This is a banana and coconut macaroon. We all like cookies, but there's a lot of sugar in cookies and there's a lot of fat which we try to keep cut back on. So this is really a 2-ingredient cookie, and it is just that same old mashed banana. Okay, let's mash it up. Okay, now this one you don't really want lumps. You want to try to get that nice and mashed. So do a little work for another minute or so. There we go. Oh, come on. Banana's being stubborn. There we go. There, we'll just take a spoon. That's a good idea. There we go. And we have our banana. Done with that. I have about a quarter cup of, a little bit over a third of a cup, almost a half. I think I did 7 tablespoons. It's in the recipe, which I'll be posting in the Aortic Hope support group page and the our forum. And I'm going to try to find another way to do that so everybody that's watching can see the recipes. Now, just mix this together. And we're just going to mash it up, get all that coconut moist. Now, sometimes you have to adjust. Not every banana is the same size. So I really don't like using necessarily say half a banana, okay? But use your judgment. If it looks, once you make it once or twice with this, you'll see this is fine. All the coconut is moistened, which is the big deal that we're looking for, is to have it moist. So you can see here that it is nice and shiny and moist, okay? Now we want it to sit for a little bit. And again, we'll let that coconut hydrate. But in order to do that, they can hydrate on while they sit after I make the cookies. So this is really hard, so pay really, really close attention. I have my oven preheated to 350. I have a cookie sheet ready to go. And we're just going to, this normally makes about 6 cookies, just enough for you and whoever. And we just drop them however big you want them. That's a little small. I like them a little bit bigger. That's like a 1 bite. There's 2. And you can just form them on the pan into a nice circle. What is that? Oh, that's a big piece of coconut. Okay, we'll leave it there. And there's another. Just, you don't want them perfectly round. Macaroons, we're not piping this out. You could try to put it through a bag and pipe it, but all that coconut would get stuck. So it wouldn't work real well. So there we go. 6 perfect little macaroons. Okay. And that's it. Now these are going to go into the oven for 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. So I can do that, and we're going to take a look at the pancake and see if it's wet enough. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let these sit for 2 minutes and let them hydrate, let the oats hydrate, and we'll be right back when we put things on the stove. Okay, so here we are, the 3rd recipe of the day. This is another dessert, 2 ingredients, only 2. We have some dates and we have some extra dark 60% chocolate right here, okay? This is a 40-gram bar, and this is 3 dates that I've soaked in hot water for a while to make them really nice and soft. So I'm going to drain out that water. Okay, they're nice and drained. There we go. Then I'm going to break up my chocolate. I like to do that in the package. Keeps my fingers from getting all chocolatey. Though, because I'd be tempted to lick them off while I'm on camera and don't want to do that. So I'll just break it into little pieces here in the package. Open it up. Okay, and we're going to, I have a few here. Nope, that looks Pretty good. Drop those in. Okay. And we're going to put 4.5 ounces of boiling water on top of this. All right. Which I have right here. There we go. My trusty teapot is ready. Now, if they're really wet still, you can probably get away with 4 ounces. It'll just be a little bit tighter mousse. Let me see where we are. Yep, plenty. Maybe too much. I won't add it all. So, pour that over everything. Make sure it's all covered. Just leave that last tablespoon there, teaspoon. Let it sit for a minute and let that chocolate melt and get soft. Doesn't take long. It's already pretty melty. Let it sit for a couple of minutes, or even, let's see how we are. I think we're looking pretty good. So, next step, all you have to do, here to let you take a look at that, okay? See, it's just the hot water, and you can see the chocolate is all melted. I have basically hot chocolate in there. Take your stick blender now. I'll do this in something deep. I've tried it in a smaller cup, and I had to wash the whole wall in the kitchen and everything, and my coat. Put it down in there. So let it go. You know, the more you whip it, the more air you get into this. So we want some air, because I'm not adding any egg whites or anything like you would for a chocolate mousse. No whipped cream, because you know, real chocolate mousse is kind of a complicated dish, right? So this is just dark chocolate and dates. Dates have a beautiful sugar and caramely flavor, which lends some depth to this, and then the dark chocolate, and there's enough sweetness in the dates to make it sweet. Typical French chocolate mousse, you have dark chocolate, you have egg yolks, you have cream, you have sugar, and you have egg whites, okay? And all those things go together. It's multiple steps, and it's not the simplest thing to make, you know? So this is all we have to do here. That is done. Leave that. And all we have to do is pour it into our serving cups. Now this will make 2 nice cups like this. 2 nice servings. Oop, I saw a little lump. Okay, that'll be okay. Especially if it's a piece of chocolate. So all you want to do is leave it out to chill, to cool, before you put it in the fridge. And then these take 4 to 6 hours, or overnight is best to set up, because the only thing that's going to set it up is when the chocolate solidifies. So we just throw it in the refrigerator, and you'll see them in a minute when I take them out, okay? And I think we're going to move on to the next recipe in a minute. All right, here we go. This is Chef Robb again, and here is our last recipe of the day. We're going to make a mixed berry cheesecake ice cream. 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients, simple to make. The longest time is put it in the freezer to let it set up. So what we start off on, this by the way is also high protein, which is great when you, or if you're a caregiver, the loved one is healing. They need more protein in their diet to help healing. So this is a high protein, low sugar, no added sugar ice cream, which is really, really nice. It's delicious. We can use any fruit. I am using frozen mixed berries, okay, that I buy at the store. It's 4 berries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries. There we go, 4 berries. So we put I have a half cup of cottage cheese. All right, goes into the food processor. And this will make about a cup or so of ice cream, which is, 2 nice servings. You can make more. You can use your big food processor and just double or triple the recipe, because everybody will like it. This is not just for those in recovery. This is for everybody. It's just a nice, healthy alternative to regular store-bought ice cream. Cottage cheese, frozen fruit. If I can get it out of the bowl. Come on. Woo! There we go. There's always got to be something on the show. That goes crazy. Okay. It was a very good time. I'm going to pick up the blueberry before I step on it. All right. Should I throw it in the pot? Nah. Okay. In the sink it goes. Now, we do add a little bit of sweet for this. I add some vanilla. That's about a teaspoon and a half. It's up to you. All right, vanilla is totally by taste. And some honey. And again, by taste. Most cottage cheese, by the way, has a lot of sodium in it. So when I first tasted cottage cheese after my long-term low sodium diet, which I still follow, it tasted really salty. Because it is, of all the different cheeses, yogurts, and sour creams, and those type of milk products, very salty. So if you use a low reduced sodium or no salt added cottage cheese, you probably don't need the sweetener because there'll be enough sugar in the berries, especially if you mix a little banana, which is really sweet, into it. So a tablespoon or so of honey. Okay, that's it. Put the cover on. Lock it, lock and load. Okay, and it'll get going. Now you might want to mix it. It's going to, berries are nice and frozen, which is really helps it freeze quicker. If they were soft, it wouldn't matter. Here, let's give it a little stir. I don't want too many lumps. Yeah, I got some nice, we'll just push it down there. A couple of those black berries are frozen together. There we go. But most of it's already ice cream. And if you have some lumps in here, it's not all that bad. You get little pieces of fruit, just like when you buy ice cream in the store, right? It's got little bits of strawberries or bananas or whatever flavor it is. Let's get the top on here. There we go. Those last ones, here we go. All of a sudden you'll see it just start spinning real fast, and it means it's all pureed. And there we go. Starting and stopping your food processor causes it to mix. Lets things fall down from the top to the bottom. Little trick of the trade. There we go. Okay, we have ice cream. Cheesecake ice cream. Okay, there we go. Let's take this off. Boom. No muss, no fuss. This is barely even dirty. And we have really nice frozen cheesecake, mixed berry cheesecake ice cream. Okay, look at that. So you get a bowl and you just want to fill that and put it in the fridge, put it in the freezer. So we just scoop it out and you can see that consistency. You could eat it right now. This is ready to eat right out of the food processor. It's a nice kind of like a frozen custard at this point. So like soft serve, which is fabulous. Okay. But if you want it more ice cream, you can, freeze it nice and firm, which I have over here on the counter. I have a batch that I made yesterday, and it is well frozen. Okay. There we go. I could ask my crew if they wanted to taste it and see how it was. I can just hand over this ice cream. There you go. Yummy.
Delicious.
Yep.
Could you use ricotta cheese with that?
Uh-huh. Sure.
Has the same amount of protein?
I think so. Still amount of milk. And remember, my earlier shows, I show you how to make your own ricotta cheese and cottage cheese out of leftover milk, out of old milk that you know, maybe on the brink or it's you just don't want to drink it. You can cook that. Look up on the recipe site, and you'll see the cheese day making cheese. So we just take this. Here we go. And I have a lid over here somewhere. Put a piece of film in between the lid so it doesn't get icy. And just pop it in the freezer. Now, let's see how things are doing. All right, so I'm back again. The banana pancake has hydrated, which I've talked about. You see now it's nice and pancake-like. That oatmeal has really absorbed the egg. So you want to make these for breakfast, you know, get up a little earlier and let them sit for a half hour, okay, and go. Now I've got a pan here that's nice and preheated. I put a little spray of neutral oil in there, which is basically, you know, clear vegetable oil of any type that you like, or you could use a light olive oil, which doesn't have that flavor, because that's not necessarily what we want. So I'm just spreading it around, make sure, oops, the oil is well dispersed. So, just nice little, just drop your pancakes. And spread them out a little bit. We're gonna make little silver dollars. So we get 4 here. And we're gonna get 1 baby one. Could have just gone for 3. Okay. Pan's nicely, I preheated it on the stove at 3.5, so on the electric, so it's like a low medium. All right, we don't want it too hot because we do want to give it time to cook. I don't need them to brown because that banana sugar will brown pretty quick. So, you know, these are gonna take 3 or 4 minutes. They're already starting to bubble through, okay? And we'll put this to the side for later. And I will check my heat. This is a really touchy little stove. There we go. Okay. And my trusty spatula. So we're gonna let those go. They're gonna take 3-4 minutes. My cookies are in the oven, so I'm gonna take a look at those, see how they're coming along. And what did I do with my hot pad? Did I put it back in the drawer? I did. Always so neat. Yeah, I made some yesterday. I put them back in to warm up, and they're getting really nice and brown. So, as you can see, these are coming along. In fact, I can take those off. And they're nice and fully baked. I got chef hands, okay? Remember that. You don't want to do this at home. Use your spatula. My fingers are still pretty well seasoned, like a pan. Oop. Okay, that one doesn't want to come off. There we go. Ooh, those are hot. So I'm gonna put these back in for a minute or 2. Now that I let all the heat out of my oven, we're gonna let them go. But you can see now these are dark. Now I like cookies that are dark, so these will definitely satisfy me. But you can see they're a nice little macaroon, okay, just like macaroons look like. This coconut, and if you open it up, it's got that nice banana center. And they are quite delicious. They're very simple. Now I have seen a recipe for one of these also with cottage cheese in it again, okay, to bind a little bit more, but no flour of any type. Now, a lot of these things come off from my, you know, running around on the internet. You know, there's all those reels on Facebook and Instagram with a bunch of people that, did you know that you can take, all those? Now, I did try a lot of them because I wanted to see which ones really worked. More did not work than worked. So I found some and adapted them, made some little changes, and found the ones that work for us because they're not all really successful. So you got to pick and choose. And I'm doing the picking and choosing. Okay, so these are coming along nice. See, I flipped them. They're nice and brown. All right. And we're going to let them cook. So it's like 3-4 minutes to a side, and then they are ready to go. These cookies I'm going to move out of the way, and I'm going to need another plate. I made some pancakes yesterday as well. They need to go back in the pan and reheat a little bit as well. Well, we'll just work with those. I'll put these to the side and eat them later. Whoop. Okay, so we have a plate for these. So almost done, almost ready to go. Let me take a look. Almost. Another minute or two. Let's check those cookies one more time because they are almost ready. Oh yes, I think they're nice. I did turn the oven up a little bit. I tried a first batch in the air fryer, which wasn't bad, but the bottoms don't cook in the air fryer. They do get a little more brown, so if you have a convection oven, you can do them on your low fan speed bake convection at 350, and they should be nice and brown. That'll be like 375. Okay, this I turned up for the last couple of minutes to 425. So we're gonna let these cool. As you can see, they're nice. They look like nice, little toasty. Gotta let them cool before you take them off the foil. And I do foil instead of paper because, again, I'm trying to get the bottoms nice and toasty. You could just do them right on the pan if you don't mind washing the pan. Spray the pan and then put it right on there, and that'll cook those bottoms much better. I don't like to scrub them and clean up. So there's nothing in there. It's not like a raw cookie dough, so it's just a little banana. So if it's a little undercooked in the bottom, it's not just for me. I'm not serving this company right now, and so I take a little more time and trouble with it. Okay, I think these are ready to go. Yes, they are. Should we do a straight stack? No, we're gonna make a little flour. There's our 4 lovely pancakes. Okay, I'll take this out of the way, and we're gonna wrap this up right now, real quick and easy. So we have our pancakes, which I would serve with some berries. Okay, I have some mixed berries, the same ones I use for my ice cream, and I put those there. So let me, I don't want any cottage cheese in this. So we put some of our berries right on top. I mean, you can use maple syrup or whatever you like. That's up to you as far as the sugar is concerned. But the focus of this program is to not have any added sugars. So we have some nice berries and a little bit of the berry juice for syrup. Okay, which is very nice. Now, if you put them in the microwave or in a pot and mash them a little bit with that potato masher, you get more juice out of them, and you can thicken it if you like, but just as it is, there's a really nice pancake. Okay, I gotta go in my refrigerator for a second. Get one more last minute thing out. Okay. All right, we have the chocolate mousse. Lovely, it's nice and light. It's, nice and set. Made these yesterday. Nice and airy. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of whipped cream. Now, do not be afraid of aerosol whipped cream. There is a little bit of sugar, but let me show you. 2 tablespoons, that's an ounce, is only 15 calories. There's very little, it's mostly air in this aerosol whipped cream. So total fat, 1 gram, which is 1%, which is almost fat-free, not quite. And no sodium, 1 gram of carb, okay, 1 gram of total sugar. So there's really nothing to be worried about. So you can just put a little squirt on top. There's your 2 tablespoons, right? I mean, that's no more, that's not, may not even be 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna leave that one plain because I don't wanna have to scrape it off and put it in the refrigerator. I'm not gonna eat it right now. So we can put a few nice raspberries, which were pre-washed, you know, on top and around. Okay. Let's have, no, I think 3's enough. Or you could just put them on there without the whipped cream. Just drop some on there and you can free form, you know, just throw them on and let them go where they want. Or just like that, 4 little raspberries. Lovely, perfect little chocolate mousse. Okay, we got our pancakes. Our ice cream is here from yesterday that I made. Let's, oh, that's right behind me. A little ice cream scoop and a little dish. Let me see what I got here. 4 little dishes. Oh, we'll just do my little dish. And again, you can put some whipped cream and berries on it. Or the other thing, see, this is still really hard. I did pull it out, not early enough though. So let's use the other one. So this has been out since the beginning of the show. So I could throw it in the microwave and soften it for 10 seconds. Or I can use the one that we made earlier. And if you want to make this real cheesecakey, you can take some graham cracker and crush it up and sprinkle it on the top for a garnish. And that's like your cheesecake crust is the graham cracker. So look at this, is already almost set. Just 2 nice scoops of soft serve. It's ready to go. Put that graham cracker on there, or for a little pop of color, I could add a few more of those raspberries again, just for a little color pop. This is the chef in me. It's full of berries already. Okay. Or if you're into it and you don't care, little chocolate drizzle's always good. All right. And number 4 is our cookies. So let's move this back. You've seen that already. Switch it around. And the cookies, let's go. If I can get them off the paper. Well, I don't want to take the time to mess with these, so we know what they look like. We know what the macaroons look like. In fact, one of those in here would be nice. A little bit on the side. Turn that around. And we have chocolate mousse. And we have pancakes, cookies, and ice cream. So we have a total of 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ingredients to make all 4 of these dishes. 1 for breakfast, any time of day, and 3 nice little snacks. Again, the recipes are small, so you can just make them for yourself. You know, we don't need to fill the cookie jar or the ice cream tub, and just have it. I want to thank you for joining me. This is Rob Seltzer. I'm the Aortic Chef for Aortic Hope, which is a 501c3 nonprofit that supports and educates people with aortic disease and those aligned to the aortic disease community. Please, before you leave, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and get that reminder bell to come in. There's also a donate button link in the description below the video. And if you are in that like mind, every penny helps. We are a totally volunteer organization. None of us work for salary. We're all survivors. Myself, I'm a survivor of aortic dissection, and we work totally with donations. So if you have it in your heart to donate to ours, please do. So this is Chef Robb, and I want to say thank you for joining us in the Aortic Kitchen.